Hi to all. I am Riaz, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management Studies, Majlis Arts and Science College, Autonomous Paramanur. Now, here we are going to discuss about what is correlation. After completing this section, we will get an idea about what is correlation, what are the types of correlation, what are the methods are used for identifying correlation, advantages of correlation, and also the disadvantages of correlation. So, moving to the section of correlation, first of all we have to analyze what is correlation. Correlation is a technique which is used to find the relationship between two variables. Mainly these are used for identifying variables like height and weight, x and y, etc. And the measure of correlation is called correlation coefficient. Usually it is denoted by small letter r. And the value of correlation is always lies in between -1 and +1. If we get the answer is -1, then it indicates the relation between variable is weak. And if the answer is plus, the relation between the variable is strong. And if we get the answer is 0, then the relation indicated there is no relation between the variables. Our next topic is types of correlation. We have 7 types of correlation named as positive correlation, negative correlation, simple correlation, partial correlation, multiple correlation, linear correlation and non-linear correlation. So let's check what is positive correlation. Positive correlation means if the values of both variables are either increasing or decreasing at the same time, it is called positive correlation. Positive correlation also indicate the values of variables moving in the same direction at the same time, then it is called positive correlation. Our second type correlation is negative correlation. If the values of correlation are moving in opposite direction, either one variable is increasing and at the same time another variable is decreasing, then such types of correlation is called negative correlation. Our third correlation is simple correlation. Under simple correlation, we only consider relationship between two variables and we doesn't consider any other variables by only considering two variables, which is termed as simple correlation. Along with the simple correlation, we have also partial correlation. Under partial correlation, we study only two variables by keeping other variables are constant. The fifth type of correlation is multiple correlation. It is used when we have more than two variables. So it is a term which is used to find the relationship between more than two variables. Simple correlation is used for analyzing relationship between only two variables. Partial correlation is used to find the relationship between two variables by keeping other variables are constant, and multiple correlation is a term which is used to find the relationship between more than two variables. Another correlation is linear correlation. It also indicates measures of correlation between two variables. Here, change in one variable which also affect the changes in another variable, which means a constant ratio changes in one variable also affect a constant ratio changes in another variable. Such kind of correlation is called linear correlation. And if there is no relation between variables changes or one variable constant ratio does not affect the constant change in ratio to another variable, such kind of relation is called non-linear correlation. Our next topic is methods which are used for identifying correlation. There are various methods which are used for identifying correlation. Some of the various methods are scatter diagram method, Karl-Pearson correlation coefficient method, Spearman rank correlation method, concurrent deviation method, and methods of least square. The first one is about scatter diagram method. So let's check what is scatter diagram method. Here we find the relationship between variables by using diagram, and the values of variables are plotted in a graph by using x-axis and y-axis, and we find the relation between variables. Such kind of relation or method is known as scatter diagram. Our second method is called Karl-Pearson correlation coefficient. And this method was developed by Karl-Pearson, hence it is regarded as Karl-Pearson correlation coefficient. and it is usually denoted by small letter r, and we have so many equations which are used for identifying Karl-Pearson correlation coefficient. The third one is about Spearman correlation coefficient, and this method is also known as rank correlation coefficient, and this method was propounded by Spearman, hence it is known as Spearman correlation coefficient. And we have three methods in Spearman rank correlation. In some cases we given ranks, and some other ranks are does not given. So these are the various methods which are used for identifying Spearman rank correlation. And along with Karl-Pearson, then Spearman rank correlation, we have also another method is concurrent deviation method. Under this method we use plus symbols and negative symbols and also zero symbols which are used for identifying the relation between variables. And after that we have another method, the last but not least, this method is known as methods of least square. And this method is also on the basis of correlation, Karl-Pearson correlation, and we use also the values which is derived from Karl-Pearson, and these values are used for identifying methods of least square for identifying the relation between variables. Now we can check the advantages of correlation, and the first one is about this is used for identifying the relationship between variables. We already said that correlation is a technique which is used to find the relationship between two or more variables. So the first advantage is that it is used to find the relation between variables. And the second one is it also indicate the direction of the variables relationship. We already says that if the answer of correlation is always lies in between minus and plus, and we also says that if we get the answer is minus, we can say that it is the relation between variable is weak, and if the answer is plus, we can say that the relation between variable is strong, and if the value of the correlation is exactly 0, we can say that the relationship between variable, there is no such a relationship between variables. The another advantages of correlation is that the correlation measure is always expressed in numerical form. So the number or numerical form is used to express the relationship between variables. And the last advantages is that it is also used for further algebraic treatment. These are the several types of advantages which are available in correlation. The next limitation is that correlation leads to causation or confusion problems, and it also indicates some limitations, assumption limitation, and this is regarded as the various types of disadvantages of correlation. So guys, here we discussed about what is correlation. Once again, correlation is a technique which is used to find the relationship between variables, and the value of correlation is always denoted by using small letter r, and it also indicates the direction of relationship between variables. Here we have a link which is used for identifying the types of questions which are connected with the correlation. So thank you.